The most underrated skill for any freelance music producer is the ability to find great artists. Because if you have the skill, you will always have the best clients and collaborators. But just like that bad drinking habit you had back in college, the methods that you're using right now to find artists might just need to be put back on the shelf for a little while. Hey everyone, I'm Daniel Grimmett, business advisor here at Dark Label, and in today's video, I'm not going to share my ideas. Instead, we're going to leverage my roster of working music producers to learn some of the methods they are currently using right now to find artists. I skimmed through and picked the top 3 methods to share with you, and to be honest, the third one just might be the holy grail for finding artists. Let's dive in. Searching Instagram hashtags or endlessly swiping through TikTok can take so much time and it burns your brain. Maybe you said, you know what? I'm gonna go do something different. You strapped on your producer-approved white leather sneakers and for the first time in a week, let the sunshine hit your face as you bravely left your home studio to go meet artists in the real world. Hold on. What's that? Everyone at the event was only hanging out with people they already knew? Ignoring you, just staring down at their phones. It burns your brain. It sounds like you all need some new ways to meet artists, so let's do that. Everyone in our industry is always complaining about the algorithms. Make something it doesn't like, and you won't be shown to anyone. But what if you could use the algorithms to your own advantage? It could function like a manager that goes out and finds the perfect artist for you. And this manager works 24/7 because they never sleep. Not because of a coke addiction, they're just all hopped up on data. This first method involves creating super targeted Spotify playlists of artists that already meet your criteria: genre, style, popularity, even location. Spotify's algorithm will then go out and find more artists that are similar to the ones on your curated playlist. It will recommend matching artists until the end of time. Just make sure there's enough artists on your playlist so it has some data to work with. Add at least 20 to 30 songs to start.
This is my main playlist for now. And here I have like a lot of artists. So let me see how many there are. Yeah, 150 almost. So the first thing I would do first is I would go to the recommended tab, but I figured out that it's kind of difficult to hit the refresh button, then go to the artist profile and then come back and it's going to refresh again. What I do instead, I just click on the playlist, and instead of clicking on the radio, which is a legit option too, it's almost similar to create similar playlist. And it's just going to create a similar playlist to the one you've already created. You can see on the right side bar all the information. So like monthly listeners, instead of like going through a giant playlist, you just go through the playlist that it's a best fit for you.
Duplicating your playlist and using other built-in Spotify features like radio can send you down a rabbit hole, discovering more of the right kind of artists that you're trying to meet. But if you're not already working with artists that fit your criteria, then you may not know any yet. So the tricky part here is finding the first artist for your first playlist. Go to Submit Hub, click the hot or not button, click top songs, click genre, and then find some artists that you like here. Since Submit Hub is generally used for pitching to playlists, these artists will most likely be on Spotify. Remember that time last week when you were laying in bed, lonely, staring at your music production setup across the room, wondering where all of your money went? I remember those days too. You pull out your phone, open that app, you know the one I'm talking about, and you start swiping right, hoping to find that special someone. And I hate to say that I can't promise you'll find that special someone anytime soon. But since your swiping hand is all warmed up, let me tell you about Vamper. Vamper is a networking app for the music industry where you swipe right on artists you want to connect with. For business only. Read this with me. Steven is one of the major label producers I work with, and he says, I just used Vamper for the first time a few weeks ago, and it's amazing to find artists that are ready to work. And Nick, who runs a studio in LA, said, I've been using Vamper almost exclusively lately. Vamper has been insane. My producers love Vamper because since it's a networking app, artists are there with the intention of meeting people. And speaking of meeting people, my company, Dark Label Music, can quickly audit your current situation and see what's missing in your business, provide one-to-one consulting to fix things up, and connect you with a highly vetted group of other professional freelance music producers. Link is in the description below if you're interested. It's great. So the drawback to Vamper is that unlike the first method I showed, you will have to do a little more research on each artist you connect with to determine if they are really a good match. Remember that you can set the distance parameter on Vamper to search more local or to widen it and go more global. I recommend that you experiment with both because results may vary based on where you live. This app does take a little experimenting to dial in. I've had producers even shut down their account and reopen a new one to switch up the search results. And a pro tip here is that when you send a message to an artist on Vamper, tell them that you will also connect with them on Instagram and send another message there. The direct message feature on Vamper is a little wonky sometimes, and our data shows that the conversations go better over on Instagram, even if you originally met them on Vamper. So you might be wondering why my producers aren't chatting it up about websites like SoundBetter or Fiverr, where artists go specifically to find producers. I'll give you 3 seconds to guess why. Lack of control. Although these websites can be a great option for getting some work, a lot of producers find that since there isn't much vetting on these platforms, 90% of the artists they meet there are not ones they see themselves working with long term. Maybe only 10% are. And although the first 2 methods you saw in this video work great, they too still have a little less control than this next one. Because there's a website out there that has ultimate search control when trying to find new artists to work with. I'm talking specific genre combined with location, combined with range of 500 to 2,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, but with an Instagram following of 30,000 followers or more. Real specific. You can quickly scroll through and in one click hear what each artist sounds like before jumping to the next. And it even shows you how their songs are performing and what kind of content they are posting on social media. For a quick vibe check. The website I'm referring to is called Viberate. It costs about $10 a month. I've looped in one of my producers, Jesse, for a brief demonstration.
So I go to artists and look up, you can do wherever you want. I just personally do United States. I'll just do pop right now because that's easy. Also, I usually go to the subgenre and pick mainstream pop. But sometimes when I'm looking for a lot of artists, I'll also select hip hop, rock, I might do country, and then just pick the subgenres that you want. Down here, you can kind of choose like what you want to sort by. I actually like the Viberate artist rank. That seems to work really well, at least for me. And then I usually leave it on Spotify followers. The monthly listeners gets a little weird because it fluctuates so much. Anywhere from like 3 to like maybe 600K here. Maybe I'll just do like around 450. And then I usually pull this back anywhere between like 2 to 300 in that range. Depending on how big of an artist you're looking for, I'll kind of adjust the Spotify followers. So I'll do that. And then obviously it gives you a huge list of people. And basically I just like go down the list. If you click on it, it takes them to their page here.
Now, finding artists is one thing, but how will you know if they need a producer? I asked Jesse what's been working for him recently when having conversations with artists. How is he vetting them? And how is he moving the conversation into the next phase? And his answer was hilariously simple. He said, I just ask them. Well, he doesn't ask them. He asks them if they know any artists who are looking to work closely, one-to-one with a music producer at the moment. Sometimes they do know someone else. Other times, it naturally opens up the conversation around working with that artist without it feeling super awkward. It's a classic approach, but it might be new to some of you. Either way, it's helpful to see what other working producers are doing in real time instead of just learning theory. And if you feel like you would benefit from being around other working producers instead of being isolated trying to think your way out of overthinking, which doesn't work, click the link in the description and reach out so we can take a look at your situation. I hope you go out and find a lot of awesome artists. And if you're unsure of what to do after you find them, then watch this next video so you don't accidentally mess something up. Burns your brain.